Hey friend, today we're going to be talking about giving and receiving feedback. And I feel like this is such a big thing that maybe writers don't talk about enough. And so I just thought that this would be a great topic for today. And so let's just jump into this. If you're new here, I talk about writing and writing tips, publishing tips, and my cat loves to join in a lot of the time. And I also love doing interviews with publishing professionals in the publishing realm. So if that sounds like something up your alley, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and give me a thumbs up so other people can find this content too. Let's jump into today's conversation. Right, Bug? So first of all, when it comes to giving feedback, you probably remember back in elementary school the constructive feedback sandwich, right? Or ice cream cookie, however you want to put it, right? I'll say ice cream cookie because chocolate and the cream filling inside and the chocolate on those, it sounds delicious. I want one now. But anyway, so you got on top, you've got feedback that's like positive and kind of like a compliment. There you go. Things that you like about it. Things that you like about the story, the character, maybe the theme or something like that. Like give 2 compliments or 5 compliments or whatever. 5 different things that you really enjoyed about this writer's work. Then you have the middle section, right? The cream filling, right? The ice cream filling, if you will. That you want to think of as like the criticism, but you want to keep it constructive because if you're being not constructive, you're being mean, right? So if it's not going to help the writer and it's more so judgmental, yeah, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be constructive with your feedback. So if the writer keeps telling a lot and you see that they could be showing, find a way to show them how what they're doing is wrong, but in a way that's going to help them become better and everything. So that's something really important to remember for that middle layer right there, that constructive criticism. Then, of course, you jump to the next part, which is the cookie underneath, right? That kind of sandwiches your feedback together. So that cookie at the bottom there, you want to make sure that you point out some more things that you enjoyed about it and share with them. I don't know, maybe you enjoyed how character was, or maybe you loved the person's dialogue or how the writer writes their dialogue, right? But you just want to remember to keep that criticism part very constructive. And I mean, sometimes it's really hard because maybe the writer's portion of the story they shared with you, there's some trouble spots in it. And you just want to make sure that you share those sections with the writer because this is how they get better. So now that we've gone over the constructive criticism sandwich, ice cream sandwich, let's call it that. Now I just kind of want to go over some different things that I find important when you're giving feedback. So you want to make sure that you point out what works, like what I was saying there. You want to point out the things that you like. Maybe the voice is good. You want to point out the things that are working. And you also want to share the things that aren't working. And that might be, like maybe the dialogue, all the characters sound the same. Or the writer tells a lot instead of showing, or switches from point of view, like from present to past, or even from first person to third person. That's one thing that I've done in the past, and it's irritating when it happens, but like you want people to tell you about it because otherwise you don't know, right? So sharing what could be improved is going to help the writer turn that manuscript into something better with the next edits. And last but not least, make sure that you share things that you enjoyed too, because it can be really hard on the writer's side if you're reading through all your feedback and people aren't even sharing things that they enjoy. That can be really hard on a writer. So I feel like making sure that you point out things that you enjoy about that writer's story and or voice or anything. Maybe even you like a scene or you like how a character speaks or what they say is funny or something like that. But make sure that you point out things that you did enjoy. And that kind of goes back to those the cookie the cookie on top and the cookie on bottom of the constructive criticism ice cream cookie. You want to have that constructive criticism inside, but you also want to have the things that you enjoyed on the outside. It softens the blow of the criticism, but it also helps the writer see what they're doing well. Because it's so easy as a writer when you're going through edits and revision notes and stuff, and you get your feedback and everything, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at this. And I mean, you're not bad at all those things, but you're just noticing everything at the same time, all the areas that you need to improve your story and your characters and to make it a better story. So those are some things that I think you'll find helpful and everything. If you get feedback from 3 or more different people saying the same thing, you know that you're going to want to kind of change that or fix that area in your manuscript just because it's showing up again and again and more than one person has said it. 3 or more has said it. You might want to change those sections in your story. Also, now how to get constructive feedback as a writer. So you want to make sure that before you share your story with, say, your beta readers or your critique partner or your alpha readers, or even you want to make sure that you share with them your concern spots. Maybe you're struggling with showing and not telling. Yeah. Maybe you're struggling with telling and not showing. You want to make sure that you mention that to them. Or maybe you're having issues with something in dialogue or swapping tenses or something like that. Make sure that you let them know and so that they can watch out for that. And I think that will help them to be able to point out where you're doing things right and also where things you might be struggling with that and everything. So make sure you mention that. Number 2, if you're in a critique group, pre-pandemic world, we would have a lot of those, critique groups where you get together with your writing group and critique each other's work, right? Well, if you're in one of those, make sure that when it comes to your turn, when they're talking about your work and critiquing your work, listen and don't argue and don't, defend your writing, just listen, take notes, write everything down in your notebook because it's going to be super helpful later. And then +2, usually later, once you've had time to think about and marinate on their feedback, you will find other things about it that might help you later down the road. So that is one thing I definitely recommend. Don't argue, don't stand up for your work, just listen to what they're saying. It might be helpful, it might not be, but sometimes you'll find that the things that they say are really helpful and you end up changing something in your story and it becomes a lot better because of that. Same thing now, because a lot of our things are digital these days and virtual. We have online groups or online critique groups or beta readers and alpha readers and critique partners. And in that case, we end up sharing a lot of our work online. And for me, I share with my beta readers and my critique partners, alpha readers, I share Google Docs and I end up sending them a Google Doc and they end up giving me feedback via comments and actually highlight the sections that they're talking about and let me know what their thoughts are and what they think. And don't defend your writing again in this sense, but if you have questions, if you can dig deeper into a person's feedback where you don't really understand what they're saying, make sure you ask questions and make sure that you kind of ask the questions so that you understand exactly what they're saying. Because sometimes it can be hard if you don't really completely understand what they're saying. So make sure that you ask questions if you have any. Also, last but not least, these people are amazing. Your critique partners, your beta readers, your alpha readers, your readers, the people who offer to read your work and give you critique, it's priceless. It's like gold, you guys. I think back to in college where we'd have round tables where we'd all sit in circles and read each other's work and give feedback and go around the room. And I always found that so helpful. And honestly, tell you the truth, I was so irritated sometimes when I'd be in that critique group and then I'd get back my short story or something and it would have no marks on it, no red marks at all. It irritated me so badly because I'm I have things I need to improve and these people aren't giving me feedback. And that's why I find it so important that we give each other good constructive feedback, especially as writers. And in this writing community, just like being able to give that constructive feedback is going to help each other so much. So make sure that those people that you have in your life that are your readers, your alpha readers, your beta readers, your critique partners, make sure you thank them or do something awesome for them. Even send them a cup of coffee or a tea or, a Starbucks card or Caribou coffee or whatever your amazing yummy drink of choice is or donut of choice is. Send them something to say thank you, and I know that they will definitely appreciate it. And plus, then you'll keep them happy and you'll keep them on your wing as a beta reader or alpha reader or critique partner for the future, right? Which is super good. Plus, then, it makes them feel totally loved and appreciated, which, we need more of that in our world today, right? I think so. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button below, and I would love to have you join us for future videos. Talk to you guys later. Bye.